Hi, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I hope you can come along today for some fun playing in a composition notebook, junk journal, and making some mixed media tags and cards out of a pile of scraps. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I am glad you're here. This is my composition notebook junk journal. Been having a good time in it in March and April, currently April 2023. And I have been working lately on the 100-day project. If you are not familiar with that, you can choose 100 days of anything and simply hashtag it on Instagram, wherever you have a social media platform, or just do it for fun. And for me, I decided 100 days of using scraps would be my project, making it really easy on myself. I work on it maybe 15, 20 minutes a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. Recently, I've been having a really good time making artist trading cards. Loving that. I use some really sweet origami paper. I love these bunnies. Definitely feeling the spring vibes. I live in New England and I'm telling you, the flowers are blooming. The weather is warming up here. And for today's video, I think I'm gonna go through a couple different things. I think I'm gonna finish up a masterboard and start a new one. So I hope you can join in or journal or grab whatever supplies you have at hand and can journal a bit today too. Now what I discovered is I gave myself extra pages, and probably looking back on it, too many pages. Again, I use this comp notebook. Ooh, coffee is good right now. Yes. I use this comp notebook to document my everyday life, and I think I leaned into 4 pages a week. So what I ended up doing is making a few extra pockets by gluing a couple of the pages together. So I have one there because I simply didn't need them in the month of March. And then I made kind of this little tuck spot here. Yeah, so there's always a way, there's always a workaround if you do that. And then these are my April pages, which I've been prepping more. You do in a comp notebook want to kind of add some papers and paint throughout the whole thing so your spine doesn't get too wonky. And I've been doing more of that. And look at this. This is Sunday drives, as in ice cream sundae. So now I have a spot for that. So good news, extra pages. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some Sunday drives in Connecticut. Actually, I don't live close to Yukon, but the Yukon and Yukon Huskies, if you know the sports teams, they have a dairy bar. It's worth the drive, friends. All right, so moving into the 100-day project. It is day 50. Yay, I made it. Day 50. In this, look at this junk mail envelope. Isn't this a great junk mail envelope? I don't think I've ever had one with such a big window and in black. I love it. So this has been storing my project of the week, and I'll catch you up a little bit. These are the mixed media cards and tags that I've been making, and I'm going to continue to make in this video, kind of take you through my process, and they're all different sizes. I really didn't stick to, I think the top one on the right where I sketched that little peony, is an ATC size, but all the rest are just whatever. It's wonky. I just cut them out. The way I cut them out was the way I sort of like the patterns on the master board, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a bit. And also I ended up cutting out little bits with that circle punch and making a little bit, I'm calling it like a little peek through window. And that was a lot of fun. We'll be doing that, I think, today too. And then finally I made a bookmark for the month of April. And I cut out, I don't know if you can see that too well, but there's a number 4 there for the month. Yeah, so the whole mark making, tag making, masterboard making, I'm going to go through today. And again, I would love to know what you like to do, your tips and techniques. I'm just experimenting here and going with the flow. And I hope some of my ideas you will be inspired by. And I know I am always inspired by the art and journaling community. And yeah, just playing with scraps. All right, so this is the end of the masterboard, the last little piece of it that I have left. For day 50, we'll make something out of that. On the top index card here, I always take notes on my process, and for my own brain, just keeping my brain in the game, and then also to share with you to kind of let you know some of the things that I like to use and have at hand. So for my mixed media tags and journal cards, I'm using, oh my gosh, I have ink all over me here, a cardstock base, acrylic paint, gesso, foam brushes. I'll be pulling all this out. Book pages, magazine scraps, little bit of washi. I also have drywall tape, which looks like a little bit of mesh. Don't know if I'll be getting into that or not. We'll see. So let's get into it. I tend to keep a big box of scraps and usually a little box of scraps, although I don't have the little one today, on my desk close at hand. And these, I guess in some sense it's good that it's a smaller box because it helps me, personally it helps me focus. I often put in things that I might work in a certain color theme or not. Ooh, I think that might be our masterboard today. I love painty papers, scraping acrylic paint. Ooh, this has some metallic on it. That's very pretty. Dictionary pages, book pages, ledger, graph paper. That's a bit of wallpaper, maybe. And in here, these are those reusable, I don't know, I think they're almost like sandwich bags or something. I put in a bunch of dictionary pages. I love adding text. Do you do that? I love adding text, the words and the pictures for me. That is my absolute sweet spot. And this is from a children's dictionary. Yeah, ELLO is the brand of that plastic pouch. More scrapbook paper. Okay, I think that might be enough. A little bit of book page. Got a good pile going. Have some cardstock to use that for our master board. I think that'll work. Are using mixed media. Always good to have a roll of paper towels. I'm going to go double today. yeah, so I cut out a little bit of this craft cardstock. I'll use what's left. Got a glue stick, and I'm not going to be fussy about this. I'm going to use big pieces of paper here. Some cute little washi I may add later. And I have the 1-inch hole punch as well as the 1.5 inch. I think those are the only 2 circle punches I own, actually. Grabbing the gesso. I have this big old container. It's lasted forever. May grab some of the drywall tape. Again, it looks sort of like mesh. And a bunch of foam brushes. That'll be for the mark making. And I have really inexpensive acrylic paint. I've been using this for a while. I think I bought it in a set of, I don't know, maybe 9 or 12. And I just showed you a quick stick, which is a tempera paint. I think it's actually a kid's paint. Maybe not, I don't know. Or I saw it I think I got it in Amazon, but I think I see it in the craft stores in the kids section. I love using kid art supplies as well as any art supplies. It's all about play, right? We grown-ups can play. Actually, the whole idea of junk journaling and art making is play for me. Experimenting. It's that, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. I have sped the video up a bit to get you through some of the gluing. I tend to do that in my videos. Ooh, pudding. A soft sweet food which you eat after your main course. Maybe it is the main course. Okay, clearly revealing my sweet tooth between the sundaes in Connecticut and the pudding on my masterboard. Yeah, so going in with very big pieces of paper, easy to do. And I'm not even covering the whole sheet. Now what I'm doing after these are all glue stick down, I have all these gaps. Ooh, yes, more coffee, please. And again, you're gonna see me go pretty quickly. I've sped the video up. I almost feel like, you know when people do drywall and they adhere the seams? I don't know. I feel like I'm going in the seams and the cracks. Getting a secure seam for all of that. How easy is that? But I like the mix of papers. I think it's going to make it interesting. Let's move that aside for a few minutes and let that dry. Now, this is the piece of masterboard from this week using the exact same technique that I went through, that gluing down. And for this piece, I'm getting into the detail part. The part where I'm looking for the text, or maybe some focal image, and then the size I want to make it. And again, I went with all different wonky sizes. No measuring here right now. The ATCs I did measure, the 2.5 by 3.5. What I'm showing you now are those circle punches, the 1 inch and the 1.5 inch, and I'm thinking, does the word beam fit in so that I could punch a hole in the card and then tuck it adhere it to the back and have it peek through. Do I want to do that? And which part of the card or the master board do I want to make the journal card? And I'd say it's probably pretty typical that you end up on a master board loving some bits and pieces and sections of it, and other areas are, yeah, in just they're not speaking to you. They need a lot more. And that's what this little piece is for me. But the one on the top left that I made the tag was, I really liked the patterning and the mark making on it, except for where that circle is that I punched. There was kind of a splotch of paint, and I wanted to get rid of it. So it ended up being a happy accident when I punched through it, because then I thought, all right, what am I going to do to make a little window from that? So what I ended up landing on was this little idea of backing it with magazine pages. And now it's sort of become a thing for me this week. Ooh, I like that together. So how is your week going? What creative projects are you digging into? Are you doing the 100-day project? Are you playing with scraps? Are you doing mixed media? All right, we're going for the 1-inch punch here. Ooh, I like that cute little bit. I think that sweet little flower will work. It's just the right size, don't you think? And again, putting the video a little bit quicker as I go through the process. The way I have put this down, I started out holding the position with a bit of clear tape. And then later, I think in most cases, I put a backing of either book page or index card to cover up the scrap on the back of the tag, or a little card like this one. And then going in with, best I can, the glue stick. Oh wow, day 50. I am actually reflecting on that right now. It's starting to hit me. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be on day 50. I think probably though, in all likelihood, this video will post tomorrow, I hope. So that will be day 51. Let's see, that seems like a lot of text for this little card. Maybe too much. Let me kind of, play with that. Spring is in the air here in New England. I don't know what season you're in. If you're in the U.S., we are, and in particularly New England, we are experiencing really warm weather this week. It's been joyful and almost summer-like. I hope last year, I remember I felt like we didn't really have a spring, even though we have the pretty clear 4 seasons in New England. It warmed up really quick. I'm hoping that we enjoy all of the blooming and the buds and the nice walks. And not a huge gardener, but I do have, I think I like that. I do have a little garden. And we actually I have one section with purple coneflower, the echinacea. And it's not out in any way, but the goldfinches love it. And I don't know, they're around. They must be eating something else right now, obviously, but I love seeing them in the garden. Okay, energy. I think that'll work. I'm not sure it's done. Oh, I like this little bit. So I hope you've been journaling along or getting some ideas, and please give me some ideas. What you're enjoying this spring, what works for you when you play with mixed media and making tags and journal cards. I am always inspired by this art and journaling community. And I love to hear what's happening with you. I think this gesso is dry. Okay, so moving on to, I guess this will be days 51 to, I don't know how many. Oh, I'm showing you this ATC and the tags again. And that I did the same sort of mark making. I don't know. You already saw that, but anyways, I think this will be the probably masterboard for days 51 to, I don't know, maybe 55 in the 100 days of using scraps. Now, this is, I think, one of the best parts of this process for me has been the mark making. I'm just blobbing down acrylic paint, and I'm using the chiseled edge. I used all foam brushes for this masterboard, and I'm doing sort of a, I guess you'd call it a tic-tac-toe, or maybe probably more of like a hashtag, but wonky. Yeah. And I just like the look of that. I have different size foam brushes. Gonna grab some gray. And I put it on a little piece of paper, and I'll use this painty paper later for something else. And now I'm gonna go in with more of a bunch of squares using the flat side of this narrow foam brush. And for me, it's I don't know, mush and smush. Yes, you've heard it here, the technique. Mush and smush. That's kind of what it is, though. It doesn't matter. I like the different shading of the paint. In other words, a lot of paint, a little paint. Let's try some purple. I think they call this violet. And this round brush, I find I like to do a little twist when I do that. And you probably already noticed I turned the masterboard just to look at it from different angles. And again, some of the circles are more opaque and some are lighter. I think it adds fun to it. This is the quick stick. It dries almost instantly, and to me, it always reminds me of chapstick. It's a tempera paint. I think the brand is spelled Kwik. And actually, I think it sticks with an X. I may have the spelling off there. STIX, I think. Okay, now what happened here? That surprised me. That almost looks like a hat or something. I don't know. You never know what you're going to get with the end of your foam brush. All part of the fun. It's just about as easy as that to get the background of your masterboard. And I think it's going to be really pretty. I think I'm going to play off of this magazine bit. I love those colors. Yeah, I think that will be the next plan for days 51 to whatever that might be. Okay, so here we are. I'm not sure if the day 50 card is done or not, but I'm feeling good. Feeling like we accomplished some fun things today. I hope going through this process with you gave you some ideas. I could seal this later with Mod Podge or a matte medium. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but that's always an option. And here we go. Here's a bit of a close-up. And I did go in later with a little bit of a white gel pen and more of that quick stick. So I hope you enjoyed playing around today with some mixed media. And I hope you're enjoying your journaling. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate you watching.